Hey y'all, this is the Heard You Sis podcast. I am Dany.
And I'm Kilz.
We have two special guests today. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'm Devonna.
I'm Michelle, but I'm also known as Koozi.
Okay.
All right.
So, y'all, how was y'all week?
It was good, a little bit. Tiring, but can't complain. I'm living, breathing, exulting.
That's always
That's
a reason
amazing.
to say
Really can't complain.
Go ahead, girl.
So I feel like my week was a wave. Like I had highs and lows. Like I tried to get the black Telfar bag. I couldn't get it.
I did see that.
That was a low for me.
I didn't see that it came out.
I didn't get it. It sold out, so it was a low for me. But then I saw Biden push back student loans, so I was like, "Hey, I get to save some money."
You know, I did see
to
that.
January.
I'm feeling
End
that.
of January.
They wasn't really getting much coin out of me anyway.
Every extra month counts.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like, every time I think about September coming and the fucking student loans coming, I'm like,
I was having a little anxiety.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta pay it again.
Mortgage tuition was like
Right.
24 to 28, depending on what the refund check you wanted.
Yeah.
You were that's the fact that you had to pay this shit back.
Yo, you forgot.
It don't seem that bad until after you graduate and got to pay it back.
I forgot. We used to be wilding for them refund checks.
5,000 didn't seem like much to me.
Right now, I get that shit back just to not have these loans.
It seemed like crumbs, but I need it back now.
I need it back.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Like those days, you used to know when somebody got a refund check. They came out
That's
with
true.
a new outfit, new bag, new shoes,
And
new
it
hair.
I stayed
refunds
low with mine.
conveniently came around homecoming.
Yo,
And if your stuff was messed up and you wasn't gonna get it in time to get a table, what?
You
Attitude.
Did you know you could like borrow for your refund? Like if it posted to your account, because I did it. If it posted to your account, you could request like 12,000, or not 12,000, 1,200 or something, 1,300, and then when it was ready, they'll take it out.
yeah. They used to do it all the time.
Advance, a refund advance.
I didn't know that.
They wouldn't give you. They gave you
I'm
cash.
glad I
No,
know
they
about
gave it to
that.
you in
I
a
would have
check.
been wilding.
What? I didn't know that.
Oh, see, I came 07, young bucks.
Oh, you was wilding it
Oh,
up.
yeah. So that's what
I'm jealous.
some of us.
Jelly girl.
Shit, 'cause
No.
I could have needed some of that money earlier. Shit, listen. That beginning of the school year, that little chunk before the refund hit, that shit is horrible.
But you know what? They definitely don't play because my freshman year, when my mom filled it out, we didn't put my father information on there. You know, my father's remarried. It's a whole bunch of mess. They was like, it's too much income. You was not honest. I had to do paperwork every year after that.
Right? Really?
Yes, I had to go in every
that's
year.
true.
Like,
If you do good the first time, the paperwork is easier.
we did
Yo,
good.
1, 2, 3.
My father's business wasn't their business.
They wanted to know.
But just a fun fact, y'all. We all went to Morgan State University. Woo, Bears.
We are the
Yeah,
Bears.
we are.
Y'all going to homecoming
But-
this year?
I gave up on homecoming.
I did too because I don't want to be. I don't know what it is. Like, you know, if all my friends are there, I'll go. But if none of my friends is going, I'm not going there to be fucking sitting in your face acting like I like you.
We definitely haven't
Are
been
you
for a while.
Oh, you going?
Yeah, I'm going. The last
that
time I
hotel
went
is booked.
was
Okay.
2016, and then the year after.
You gonna wear a mask?
Huh?
'Cause
I'm
the different-
vaccinated, and I'm covered under the blood of Jesus.
Yes.
So,
You're elite members of society.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm vaccinated.
All right.
And I'm covered under the blood. I got dual
Coverage.
Dual citizenship.
dual citizenship.
But other than that, how was your week? Cool.
My week was okay.
Okay. My week, y'all. Let me tell you what happened before I fucking got here, okay? Somebody dead ran into the back of me, okay? So that had me a little frazzled. I feel like once you get into some shit like car accident wise, it always just has you like
Did you
off
have
your
an
rock a little
unhinged
bit.
moment?
I needed a shot after that. I need a shot right now. Like right now.
Damn.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. But
Well-
other than that, my week was pretty chill though. It was good, you know.
My birthday is coming up, y'all.
How old you turning?
You're stressed.
You know, black people be like, "How old I look?"
Yes.
27.
That's the thing. That's a black people
Ooh,
thing.
I like
'Cause
that.
That's me.
That's
28.
definitely me.
I did that on Friday.
Not 30.
Turning 29, y'all.
29. Oh,
30 is around the corner.
This cat is getting old.
Girl, you better let that shit purr out.
What do old cats do?
They still purr. Don't let nobody tell you nothing else.
Do they purr like or
No,
The second one.
like on some Earth the Kitchen. You know what I'm saying? You gotta hit them with that. You feel me? But anyway, let's jump right into it. So we brought these two special ladies here to talk about motherhood. So we have different views here. Me and Dany are childless, and you two have one. You know, y'all could speak about how you feel about that. What were your thoughts on motherhood before you became a mother?
And it's so funny. After I gave birth, before y'all know I write poetry, I had posted something like, do yourself a favor and have a child with a man that wants to be a father. And then there was another post, don't be a baby mother before you're a wife. And you could talk all that shit when it doesn't happen to you.
But yeah, when you're in it.
Then when you're in it, you realize like, damn. So I even made a post like, I apologize for my ignorance, because when you don't become a mom, you really don't understand. Shit happened. Like me and my son's father were not together. It was literally a sneaky link. And I went back to Baltimore, and I had told my homeboy, like, I ain't doing this shit again. This shit was weird. And I came back.
Were you living in Baltimore at the time?
No, I was in New York. A sneaky link.
She said
he
she
had
doing
an
a sneaky-
event.
sneaky link.
Conwani Fidel. And he had a book event, Scholastic. It was like a book event, a festival or whatnot. And I was like, okay, kill two birds with one stone, get my rocks off, and go see my best friend. And then I got pregnant. And so life, it changes.
Did your whole 360?
Wow.
The whole shit. 9,000.
That's very funny that you say like you say all this shit before
you say you're not gonna
it's crazy. That shit'll slap you right in your face, right in your mouth. Like, shut up, bitch.
You say all these things, and then you become a parent. You're like, what an ignorant fuck I was.
What? You be thinking you're fucking stupid.
Right? Because taking care of somebody's kid at church or taking care, like I took care of my niece and nephews.
It's a whole different ballgame.
It's a different ballgame.
Somebody that came from you.
Yeah, because watching a niece or a cousin or something, it sound good, but like this is your child now.
Right.
Yeah.
You got a connection.
What were your thoughts, Devonna?
Well, the complete opposite. Like, I really wanted to be married before I had kids. It was such a tough decision that I was a girlfriend and I was pregnant. Because whether you're married or not, a guy could leave. You could be a single parent at any point. So I'm not doing that, but I'm not saying that it's...
You wanted to jump into it?
I just wanted, I guess, that extra layer of security,
Okay.
if that makes sense. Because again, at any moment, married or not, they could be like sayonara, but I feel like a marriage shows a little bit more commitment, and the odds and the chances are a little different.
I agree. I wanted to be married.
Yeah,
too.
we share the same. We've also shared the same like thought process in that aspect.
I think a lot of women have. That's why it goes back to what you said about that post. It sound good.
It sounds
Yeah, but it doesn't. Right.
Well,
It
it's like,
doesn't.
yeah,
realistic all the
baby
time.
mama friend. I was like, I'm a baby mama, a single baby mama, totally.
I don't like to say baby mother.
I
I like when people say I say my daughter's father. I'd say anything, but
I'm baby mama.
You want to be
baby
known as the mother of his child.
absolutely, it just
And
sounds.
you know what's so
'cause
crazy?
Baby mama has
Somewhere
such
deep
a
inside, I
negative
always felt like that was
connotation to
reserved
it.
for a wife. I don't know why that. I
The
always
mother
felt
of
like
a
that was
child?
real.
Yeah,
it was
but you
real.
know what? That's
This just comes with
It's
ignorance.
because baby
as well.
mama has this negative connotation
Stigma
to it, so
to
I
it,
try
yeah.
to like not associate with it. Like I'm the mother. Of
And
this
then
child.
people try to make it seem like you lose your value after you become a baby mama.
mama or whatever.
That I don't believe
in. It's also I don't know.
No, I don't believe in that either.
I think it's whoever's meant for you after. If you're, I don't know if you're with your baby's father. I mean, the father of the child. But I ain't. So whoever's meant for you, I always feel that whoever God, I ain't gonna be a preacher today, but whoever God has for you is for you. But sometimes it's like you create the mountain before you when you go before God. So it's like, metaphorically, like your husband could be 5 years away, but then you ended up getting pregnant, so now he's 10. And it might not be 10, but you get what I'm saying? It's like what you do may push him back for God to make you prepared to be that person's wife.
Right.
So I don't, there are some men that I was on Hinge, and as soon as I say I got a baby, it's like delete chat. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. That's something you put up front, because I've literally...
That is the first thing. I have a son. He's not going nowhere. He's
I think
first
that's amazing,
and
because
foremost
I've
in my
literally
life.
met guys that like I'm talking to them for a minute, and it's like, oh, you got a kid. kid? What the fuck?
No,
Yeah, like, how
that's
could you
first
not
of all,
mention it?
Why would
Right.
you have some shit
FaceTime
like
me
that?
Elijah's here.
Okay.
Here. Like, no, because he's not going anywhere. And if you're going to, he granted he has my father, he has his godfathers, his uncles and stuff. But if you're coming into my life, especially I'm 31, it's permanent.
Yeah.
Therefore, you're permanent in his life. So we have to make sure it works. If he don't like you, then
What the fuck?
Deuces.
Yeah, that's true.
But you know that
That's
shows
very
like
important, too.
a layer of being a mother that a lot of people don't see. Like, you know, I see where there are women that will put their child
To the back burner.
Like,
Yeah.
oh,
That your
I-
child is uncomfortable, but you still with
You
this
still
person.
with this
No.
man.
Y'all, let me tell y'all this story.
No,
Let me
no,
tell y'all
no.
a story
I've never.
real quick. I went to the nail salon last week, right? And it was this little girl getting her nails done. This was random, but she was getting her nails done, and her mother had, like, I guess one of her male friends. I don't know if it was her boyfriend or whatever. And you know how people like, oh, that's your uncle, that's mommy's friend, shit like that. So I thought that was maybe one of those situations. It didn't give me this was her man. So basically, the little girl's under there getting her drying her nails, whatever. I thought it was real cute, you know. And then I don't know, I missed it, but I kind of turned, and I think he pulled her hair a little bit. Like he kind of like pulled her hair, and she was like, "Oh my God, you pulled my hair." I want to say she was like maybe 8 or 9. She was like, "Oh my God, you pulled my hair," and he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, or whatever." And like the mom was like, "Why would you pull her hair, whatever?" She was like, "Mommy, he pulled my hair," and they going back and forth about the hair pull. And when he went outside, he was like, he kept saying, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that." This and the third or whatever. And when they went outside, when the guy went outside, it was just them two in there. She was like, "Mommy," she would not let it go. Like, "Mommy, he really pulled my hair. Why would he pull my hair?" And she was like, He just a little drunk right now, girl. And she was like, he just a little drunk. He ain't mean it. And all I thought to myself was like, your daughter is the main priority. She is the one that like.
And it might be deeper than pulling, if you want to go to like a social services perspective, it might be deeper than pulling. He might be pulling something else, and that's why she's honing in on the
pull. Yeah.
Did you observe the pull? Like, what was it? A playful pull? I mean, I still would be offended.
Why
I
would
don't
he
want
be
nobody playing with my
in the
kid. I don't
daytime
know.
at a nail salon with
Pulling
a
her
child?
hair.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Sus.
It's sus.
Yeah, the
It's
mom
definitely
was giving
borderline
like
abuse.
she was giving weird, but I'm just saying that just goes to show, like, you know, where your value of where you place your child on in your life. Like you saying, like, you know, I feel as though my child is a very one of the most important aspects of my life, and so I need you to know that they are here.
Right,
And they
everything
matter.
revolves around. I just started going out. Literally this summer, the We Outside
How old is he?
movement. He's 3. The We Out
Oh, shit.
literally just started going out. Literally. So now I don't feel guilty. When I was young, I was like, mommy's going.
But you're fairly new. How do you feel?
About going out.
Yeah,
So I just went out Friday,
I was.
and
with you,
she
girl.
spent the night at. Yeah, I went to Coney Island.
No, say you outside.
No, I tried to be outside, but I got home, my baby wasn't there, and I was having like anxiety attacks. I was calling
Yeah, you thought
her
you
father down.
Because
I was like, put her on FaceTime. He like, she sleep. I don't care. Send a picture. I was like losing it because I don't know. Maybe
Because
because
she's 3 months, right?
yeah. So it just
What?
yeah, but
I can't have
I told
can't
you
really
this
have-
before. I'm not even a mom. I told you this. You like, I'm gonna be outside.
I
I'm
thought I
leave. He
was.
gonna be watching her. Yeah, girl, we gonna be out there. No, you're
because I
not.
got a whole bunch of babysitters, but I don't let them babysit because I don't know.
First thing she said, "Can I bring her?"
3 people
we about to be
in
drunk.
rotation. Except for like my parents and my sister. There's literally 3 people. Her brother is 1, and then his godmother, and then Tracy. There's 2 Tracys there in one home. That's it. I don't take him anywhere. And if none of them are available, guess who's not going anywhere? Me.
You.
I don't know.
My first thing is always to bring her. Ask, we going anywhere? I'm like, can she come? Like, that's always my first
Not
thing.
to the club, girl.
No, not to the club, but just like anything. We want to go out to eat. I'm like, do
Yeah.
y'all mind if she's there? I just
No, she tried to bring her everywhere. Don't listen.
She's lying.
Literally
not
everywhere.
the club, but brunch.
If you could bring babies to the club, you would bring her.
If it looked appropriate in society eyes, I probably would have her because I don't know. I just like to have her
Not
with
gonna
me, but she's
lie.
small, so maybe as she
taking
gets
shots.
bigger,
She like Kari.
No, I
No, she-
don't want to be intoxicated in front of my baby. She needs a lot of attention.
Yeah.
I can't do it, but I definitely
probably
like
like,
to bring
girl,
her. I know I
quiet.
can't have as much fun if she wasn't there. But
When you get to, I don't know, everybody in their journey, because what was it? I had a weight loss surgery, gastric sleeve. So I was in the COVID. I was in the house because I had
What made you do it though?
I was 395 pounds. I'm emotional.
Really?
I'm an emotional eater, and I don't smoke weed anymore. And
Oh,
I didn't
shit,
learn.
yeah.
I didn't have CBD at that time. I was ignorant to CBD. I thought CBD was weed, and I was like, I'm not going to drugs. So I was like, I'm not going to psychotropic medications as well. So I was dealing with stress and anxiety by just eating and eating and eating. And you don't notice you're gaining weight until you notice you're gaining weight. And it got to the point like he's very active. I could put my hand in the back of my rolls and like literally squeeze. But I'm like, what the hell? And then you step on the scale. It was when they were giving the free hotels for essential workers.
Okay.
And I had a hotel at the Loft. And in my house, I'm able to bypass mirrors, so I didn't really have to look at myself until I had clothes on. And, I know how to dress, so I'm able to finesse it where you can't notice I gain weight. I got out the shower, and I was looking at I was like, yo, this is crazy. So I talked to my sister, and I was like, I've been trying to lose weight on my own. I was like, the only thing I feel like I could do is something that's really restrictive that I don't have no choice. And then did the process and had the gastric sleeve. So right now, I'm like back to where I was when I first had him or whatnot. I could be smaller. But I'm not it was crazy. And then you get more emotional and you get more anxious when you're looking at the way you gain weight. And then instead of like, okay, I'm going to have a salad that's like rasta pasta with extra oxtail, the whole thing. And then after that, you eat
That shit is good,
cheese.
though.
You eat Cheez-Its and shit. Like,
so it's like
can live
relearning
without
how
eating
to not
healthy.
be an emotional eater. And now I have CBD, so if I really feel like I'm anxious, I'll either eat a CBD gummy or take a CBD pill because I'm really not trying to go the psychotropic medication route.
and can you elaborate on, you say psychotropic?
Like the antidepressants, and
like Xanax and shit like that.
and Zoloft and things like that. I don't want to go that route. Although my little sister said you could do it where it's like temporary or whatnot. I don't want to.
Yeah, I feel like
route.
I also like struggle with anxiety, so I definitely understand.
That'd be the first thing they offer you, girl.
Right,
It's
but I
drugs,
also
like, I
feel like you gotta
understand
take
that.
out.
I don't want that.
Sometimes you gotta take out, like certain people I had to remove from my life. You have to take out my triggers as men. So if you taking me there, I'll take you out the equation. Quack, because
Which is your son's father? Like, how did y'all just meet? Y'all met like just off?
so
Because the
he's on Instagram. He bought a hat, and he was asking me a question about the shipping on a hat. And then I clicked through. I was like, "Oh, he cute." And then go back and forth. And then at that time, I wasn't really on it as much. So I was like, I was only on it to post poetry, and then I wouldn't be on it. So then we exchanged numbers, and then we were talking for like a cool 2 months. It ain't take that long to get in the goods.
Okay.
And then it just so happened that the weekend I was planning it was like, all right, let's plan it. Did the do, and I told Connie, I was like, this ain't it, bro. Came back.
So did like the condom pop?
What condom?
Yo, I am dead. Oh my God. So what is he? So,
I was trapped.
So what is his feeling?
was trapped?
He didn't want him. And I was
Okay.
27, and I'd never had an abortion. I was 27. I was doing my PhD. I looked back and I said, when I was 14, 15, wilding out, I didn't get pregnant, and I was in high school. And if I got pregnant, I probably would have kept it. Why at 27? Well, mind you, my father's a preacher. Like it's a whole lot of variables.
I've heard that before. Like, oh, I'm too old to get an abortion.
Not
Like,
that
what
you're
is
too old. Is that I made my bed.
And you feel like you should.
And I've got to deal with the consequences of my actions. Because if it was AIDS, what I'm going to do? Kill myself? No.
True.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
and if you're hearing kids shows in the back, it is my child listening to iPad. But you have to lay everything has a consequence, whether it's a positive consequence or a negative consequence. In this case, at first I thought it was negative. Now that I'm deep in motherhood, it's a positive consequence. It's something that I learned for. I grew financially, mentally, emotionally, but he didn't want him. I feel like the way our personalities are, we're both neither one. Now we're better. He's uninvolved, so let me not say better. I choose not to deal with it, and he chooses not to be a father, so it works out.
So do you feel like a man is responsible for a child even though he does not want?
If you don't want to be physically, you'll be financially.
Okay, how do you feel about that?
If you don't want to be physically, The same day I found out I was pregnant was the same day I told him I was pregnant. Sorry, the same day I told him I was pregnant. If I was able to change my life around, financially prepare, and you chose not to, and then I ask you for things and you make it difficult, and then I have to go the route, because I didn't even put him on child support. I was on social services. I was getting food stamps. I was living the life. You hear me?
I'm telling you.
I was living off savings and my school refund check, and I was getting food stamps. They was giving me money, and they was like, "Oh, we got to put him on child support." I let him know. I said, "They're gonna put." It was July. We didn't have court until December. So I said, you know what? Send me. First off, he didn't believe he was his, so he says I paid for the paternity test, $350. He still hasn't paid me back. I don't expect it, but yeah, I said they're gonna put you on child support. We didn't have court for the child support.
So you didn't like actually like put him on child support.
From when Elijah was born, I didn't ask for anything. I'll ask for 40. You'll say no. I'll ask for this.
I didn't know that the government will do that.
Yeah, the government want their money. If you're on public assistance, the government want their money. So I was forewarning him, like maybe we could work to get something. And I asked her, I said, "Can you send me I think it was for diapers or something?" And I needed more than 40, but I was like, "Let me just see." And he said, "No, you put me on child support." So now that the child support, we was in court for like a year and a half. Either or. I digress. No, I feel like we all are adults, and you know what happens when it's not like the condom, but we didn't use a condom. You know what happens. Pucker up and be a man, or do what you're doing now and stay out the way.
I don't know. I think I'm a little. I feel like I'm on the fence. Like in one aspect, I do feel like. Because me personally, I want the person that I have a child with to want it too.
Same.
And so I feel like we both have a decision to make. And whether, if I decide I want it, I feel like I would not involve that person because I want it.
That's how I am. But because you're going to financially provide because it's your choice. I'm not stopping you from being a father. I'm not hindering you. When you FaceTime once every year, we FaceTime once every year. We create a schedule and you don't abide by that schedule. That's your prerogative. I'm never not going to stop you if you want to visit. There is going to be restriction and there is going to be, because you need to be consistent. And I truly believe black boys, what destroys them is not more so is the absence, because the absence, you could come up with your own definitions. You can't define why doesn't he want to be with me when you saw it. So I'd rather you be totally out than in. But I also feel like if you make the adult decision to sleep unprotectedly, you can't then say when the repercussion of that is a baby, because there's so many other it could be STDs, it could be all.
There's a lot of things that come.
It's a baby. You can't then say you didn't want a child when you created the process. You indulge in the process to create a child. So that's where my thing is. I used to think like that because I definitely have a poem that used to say that, and I told you I used to put that meme, be with a man that wants to be a father. And until you get in a situation and you're like, regardless of not if this man wants to be a father, that's why God created women as how he created us. We're going to stand 10 toes down regardless.
That's true.
Regardless, and we're going to build our kingdom and we're going to ensure he has the best. And thank God I have more resources than other single moms where my child will not have to want or need for anything.
You have people in your life.
And I have people in my life and the educational background where I don't have to fall. Like, it was a choice to be on social service because I was like, I'm not going to work. I tried to make it to 1 year and my savings said, get your ass on to work.
So, Savannah, what are your thoughts?
To me, I feel like we all have sex. We all have done it unprotected. And the goal is not to create a child. And I feel like I don't want to ever be the woman like, oh, you didn't wear a condom, you busted me, because if you don't advocate for a condom, then you allow it. So I feel like it should be a mutual decision. I feel like you should really consider what this other person wants, because at the end of the day, that affects your child. Because if this person really doesn't want to be there, you're throwing the dice. They either might still step up or they'll vanish. And it's really, for me, like about your child. Like, I wanted my children to have a very active, involved parent, financially, mentally, physically, and emotionally. That was really big for me because I feel like when the generations are going down and down and down, you want to be better and better and better and elevating. So I didn't want to be like a baby mother without being in the relationship with my child's father, because I didn't want to be a single mom. But if we are together and things go wrong and I become a single parent, I can accept that. But in the beginning, if you tell me you don't want this child, I already know that my child is not going to have a dad. And that's not what I would want for my children.
I understand that, but I also feel like we have to think about the ramifications of abortions and what it does to us, because I'm not going to have an abortion, and after this abortion, I can't have no kids. So that was what it was at. And I also had a situation where they tried to take out my womb because I had cysts.
Okay.
I had cysts, and my cysts were like triple the size of my ovaries, and this was 2014. And I think it is a miracle that, because they was ready, they was prepping me for surgery to take out my womb and everything. So and 3 years later, what was I 20? Yeah, 3 years later, God gives me this blessing, and when I tell y'all, at that time I did not use condoms, like with my ex-boyfriends before.
For real?
No, because I was wilding.
Yo,
Let's just be honest.
You was running a race, girl.
But I never got pregnant.
Yeah.
And then the one time with a stranger nigga I get pregnant, it's like, you know, and I feel like
the universe will always slap you in the face
that's what I
like
said.
that.
Yo, I'm
And
telling you.
The one guy was like, you need to sit down, because this is not, you need to sit down and you need to grow. And the only way to do that, because you know, with poetry, going on tour, sharing stages with big name people, this, that, and the other, but that was in the will as well. But it's also another will that I feel like God had for me, and it wouldn't have manifested if I did not have my son, in order to be able to pour into another sector group of people. But going back to what you said, I agree, but I disagree, because I just feel like I'm not going to put my body, my mental. I know people who've had abortions, and they've had abortions in high school and still talk about it to this day. It's emotionally, psychologically, you know.
I think abortions really depend on you as a person.
Yeah.
Are you somebody, because I know people that feel like, well, shit, I have another baby, I'm gonna get that shit again and again and again. You feel me? There's some people like that. There's some people that it messes them up for the rest of their life. There's some people that they can never have kids from it. So there's so many different
And I'd have been the one.
Yeah, some people that get them back to back.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That don't care. Like,
yeah, people
so
who be
I think it does depend on you and how you feel about that. I am pro-choice.
That's what I am.
And then I feel like it's situational. Like if you have something with your
I
womb,
know
you know what I'm
people
saying?
who are married and personally, familially, who are married, and outside of the marriage, the husband done left and done had kids by other women, or the husband done left and just disappeared. So I ain't
gonna lie to you. I'd rather that though.
I'd rather start it.
No,
I'd rather start it knowing that we are trying to have something than start it knowing I'm gonna be by
You know what?
myself.
I think that's one of the top 10
don't even
scariest
know
type of
where
niggas
I'm
you
at
ever
with
want to
this
meet.
right now.
Somebody who's rubbing your stomach, kissing in a maternity
then disappear.
photo,
That's
and then
weird
just
to me.
wake up one day and they're gone.
I don't wanna be here
That's
yet.
the worst type.
It goes
think
back
so.
to how men are raised, because I know
Yeah.
his past, and I'm not going to talk about
Never.
how he was a bit chaotic. And Elijah is actually his second born. He's not in, and that's where I come from. He's not involved.
See, there's a lot of backstory.
Right, that's when like you
Yeah.
should have learned your
That's
first
the first thing you should have said.
Yeah,
Like,
he's-
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
He's not involved in the first one as well.
so he just a Rolling Stone.
Papa was
Yeah.
a Rolling Stone, but so it's everything is situational. Like coming from before giving birth, talking.
Yeah.
I can only talk about me and what worked for me. And Elijah's great. Elijah's fine. When I was pregnant, the question
Were
on
you
my mind
scared?
was like, because it's like, what do I say when he asks, "Where's my dad?" But then now, I don't think he's ever gonna ask that question, because he has so much love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He
I
has
feel like
so
they
much-
always ask. Though.
I
I
think
feel like
so.
they-
I think
That's
God
like
gonna
them
give me a
kids
man.
that be getting that's like adopted, or somebody used their egg. They always trying to find a sperm donor. Like he don't want to be found.
But I can speak on I don't think, because there's so much love from my father, my brother, his godfathers, and his
maybe he
uncles
won't
and stuff.
question you.
But then
down,
it's like
maybe
there's
he might want to
school.
know. Sometimes they be
Yeah,
and then
but
there's other kids that he might see that
I get
interaction.
And I've learned from being pregnant, because literally being pregnant, that shit drove me to depression. I'm sitting up here crying. crying. I'm calling my cousin Rachel, like, Rachel, what am I gonna? I'm 5 months pregnant. And Rachel was like, well, can you have the baby first? And I was like, you're thinking about
Sounds
something
like
that.
You can definitely. I think you can comfort him. I truly do. I really think that
This
you
is
could comfort him in your answer, but I think he will act.
From somebody who was raised by a single mom and not lacking for men in my life.
Did you have questions to your mom?
Literally, the reason why I found my dad was because, or the reason why me and my dad actually reconnected is because I had asked my mom, like, where's my dad? And she just was like, all right, fuck it. We're going Easter right after church, took me right to my grandmother's house, gave my number and everything. And that's how we got reconnected or whatever. But
Did you ask him why he wasn't around?
my dad is a whole different layer. So I don't know if I necessarily got the answers that I was looking for.
And sometimes you never will.
Sometimes you won't. But our relationship is definitely ongoing thing that we're building on.
And how long ago did you meet him?
When I was 12.
Okay.
I'm not gonna sit here and act like having your parent or a parental missing from your life for such a big chunk of it, like of your growth. Let me say that, because those are pivotal years. Like
Right.
1 to 12, very pivotal. But I'm working on it every day. Every day I'm just thinking about it.
Do you hate him?
No, I don't. It's weird. Like, how when you want something more when you don't have it, that's what it's like.
Yeah.
It's like you're consistently reaching for it.
Is he consistently throwing, or do you you're the one throwing? See, I don't ever feel that a child should ever have to chase their parent.
That is my
they
absolute
shouldn't.
Yeah,
number
you
one
shouldn't.
thought. I feel,
And I hate when I hear parents
But I
say
don't
that,
feel like
oh,
I don't feel like a mom should have to
no.
chase a parent either. If this or a dad, if this person is showing you that they don't want to be around, don't let them play with your kid like that. Don't let them play with your kid like that. Don't let them play with you like that.
And
Me and
that's how my mom is.
me and
She's not
my
that type.
daughter's
Like,
father
she
are
not chasing you.
together, and if we decided to separate, he got one time to play. Baby, we is out of here. We are going. I don't have. You're not gonna play.
Like, there's so many. Like I said, there's so many layers to it. It's like you learn a new layer every single fucking time. Like every single time y'all approach a new issue. Every single time. Like, so I definitely agree with you on the chasing a parental. I don't believe in that. Like, if I always felt like I don't have any kids, but just coming from a person that was missing a parent for a certain amount of time in my life, like I just don't ever want my kid to have to feel that that chase, or my mom don't want me, my dad don't want me, this person don't want me. Like, when you miss that, like in a part of your life, you start chasing that in a fucking adulthood if you don't get that cleared.
Right.
Like, if
That's
you don't get
true.
that fixed within you, you're always going to be chasing that void. Like, this person is missing from my life. Like, I want it. And you
I
don't need
honestly
it.
think, you do need both parents. Like, and it's sad, it's sick to me that I just started realizing, what is it? Not paternity leave. Like, they just started, started really becoming a thing. Like in Europe, like they definitely have that.
Yeah,
or
I
whatever.
think the men now have 3 weeks.
3 weeks, they get like a month.
Yeah. They get a
Yeah,
month.
so like I'm not saying that, because I know amazing people that don't have their fathers in their
What
life.
I would say,
Yeah.
shout out, y'all remember
But-
Mark Moore, right? He's from Queens. He was my year. When I forgot.
Moore?
Yeah, I spoke to him, and Mark used to tell me like his stepfather raised him, and I do believe
Stepdaddies matter.
That's what
They
I was going
do.
to say.
They
I
matter.
do believe that to their parents, kids do need 2 people, but I also believe that it doesn't have to be your biological father.
I think so too.
I agree.
Like you said that you have your
Because-
dad in your
yeah, I have
life.
I
He was
feel
an
like
instrumental
once-
part of your life.
Well,
he can
instrumental.
definitely have a great
And then like
impact
my
on him.
cousins and stuff, like his god, like instrumental, and everybody, if I need them financially, although I don't be asking, but if they want to throw a bone, come on. Now. But like
don't, and I'm a catch.
if I did not have a job and I needed them, I know that they got him. So it more so a husband. I'm single, by the way. So more so
Manifestation.
that where I'm praying it comes before like 7. So it's like Jesus is coming. So let's
Okay.
hurry up. But yeah, I don't think it has to be a actual blood, because they're It's
I don't
not.
think
It's
so.
not the title or the sperm or the egg that makes you a parent. It's the love and what you give and how you ensure that
That's
this
the word.
person's life is bettered every single day. So that's my thoughts on that. That's why I don't be tripping off it when they like, oh, you do it by yourself. No, I have help, but am I a single mom? Yes. Do I wish to be?
But
No.
you know what?
I don't know
appreciate
anything other
that.
than that.
Like, I appreciate that statement that you just made. Like, you know, like I have help, but I am a single mom.
I'm a single mom.
Like,
It still falls on.
Some people don't even.
It still falls on me though, and it still can. Some days I don't want a mom today, but you have some days you don't want a mom, and then some days he's like doing backflips on the stairs, and you hear them, Michelle, and I'm like, not today, not mommy right now. I want to finish watching my show. But yeah, some days are great, and some days it's really like, damn, it's not even your fault. But can you move?
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't have any kids, but I have a fucking dog, so I can't even compare them. I can't compare children to dogs. But if they're anything alike,
but it's
I'm
okay.
good.
And I think that the problem, I think if more parents understood that it's okay to think like that, then you wouldn't feel so guilty, and you wouldn't get yourself into like a depressive mode. Because it's okay to be like, not today.
Not today.
Not today. Like one time,
Because you need a break from everything in life.
I went to a hotel. I went to a hotel. I went to a party. Came back, and I was like, and I was rejuvenated.
Yeah, you just need to get back to you.
I never.
Everybody needs a break.
Never slept over unless I was working. I had to do overnight. I work in a group home, so that was the only time that he started sleeping over when COVID first started. Was when like staff were lying and saying they had COVID and all kinds. And I'm the residential manager QIDP. So if I ain't got staff, guess who got to go? The supervisor. So staff was sitting up here, I got COVID. So then they'll get, the 2 weeks quarantine. So got to a point where we ain't had no staff. So I have to do overnights and stuff. That was the first time he did not sleep with me. The first time.
How did you feel?
I was at work, so I really couldn't feel it, but I kept texting my niece. One time, I probably text you till like 4 a.m, like, how is he? Don't forget to give him the bed. Is the comforter on him? Change his diaper. Because you're not used to now, here.
They could.
I think, I'm not going to lie. I think 2 and up is when people be like, look, I need a little breaky break.
Like,
Because I'm not there yet.
Oh,
but-
girl, you ain't even 6 months. We talk to you in a year from now. I keep telling you
But that's another thing. That's why I was like really serious about the 2-parent thing, because I'm very independent, and I always felt before this that no matter what, I could do whatever I want to do. I put my mind to. I don't know how single moms do it. When I tell you, the minute he gets in the house to take a shower and he takes that baby, I feel relieved and happy.
You don't know what you could do until you
I know that I could do it, but it's like it is hard. The hours that I spend in the house with her before he gets from work, so I can't imagine not being able to give her to nobody at like 5:30.
You got used to it.
I would do it if I had to, but I'm grateful that I don't.
Yeah, okay.
I did a couple of 24, I call it shifts, a 24 where because he had colic.
Oh no!
And I did like a couple of 24 hours. And I used to say, God, if this is my bone, because I have
when the poop is stuck?
No, colic is when
the
they are
nonstop
cranky
crying.
and they have
Gas.
gas, and they can't get it out. They tell you to do all kinds of stuff
With
They
the
were telling me-
legs,
That's what made me
right
start
with
listening
it.
to Hillsong, What a Beautiful Name, and then it started calming him down. Anytime you played it, What a Beautiful Name, and it was like, oh, this works. But yeah, you don't know how strong you are till strength is all you have.
Right, because when you think about it, you're dealing
that's
with
my
so
poem.
much.
Don't like steal that because that's in my poem.
But when you think about stuff like postpartum, like you go through so much, and I can't imagine like everything that I'm currently going through not having help.
Somebody else. But I thank God I never went through postpartum. No matter how low I went, I always could. Postpartum, sometimes you're not able to bring. I thank God.
Yourself back
It
up.
would. But like me, I be thinking God be punishing me. People be like, God don't. I'm like, God said you bust your legs open, I'm gonna give you the most difficult baby.
I'm not gonna lie. It's the first thing I think. Like,
mental health
whenever something
professional,
bad
I
happens,
catch my lows. I catch my lows. Like right now, I am going through postpartum. I am in the process of I actually found a therapist that I really want to go to, but she doesn't take my insurance, and I'm a stay-at-home mom currently. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that. It's like I really and I never met her. I'm just like on her profile, and I just feel the vibrations of like I want to talk to her. Then it's like, oh my God, I don't want to
pay out of pocket.
But I know
$700 an hour, right?
not 700, but not
It'd be
when you don't
crazy,
work, when you ain't working.
You counting every
Right,
penny.
right.
Oh,
So-
I understand. You got food stamps. Go get on food stamps.
I want to get everything.
I got they.
But when you get everything, they put you
$150
on child support. I can't be laying next to the man. He paying all the bills, and now he don't get on food stamps get on child support because I want to go get.
Well, I don't want to record. I'll tell you after what you can do. Because by the time the court keeps talking, government be tapping my phones.
Yo, I'm fucking dead.
But yeah, so it's just like, and I didn't even think about that you go through these things. Thankfully that I have somebody, but if I was going through what I'm going through and I was by myself, oh my God.
That's why when you hear
God.
stories about like mother, and not saying it's justified, but like people who kill their kids.
I understand. Not that I agree.
It took me to really get older to really realize, and I don't have a kid, but like, we know back in the day when people used to be like, no, she's crazy. No, she's not crazy. She's really, like,
she's
you
depressed.
You
the first 3 months, 4 months is insanity because you're not used to being used to not used to. Like, you literally have a being that wants to eat. Like, my son was 1.5 hours to 2 hours, and that's why I started, well, I already had started the formula, but when he got off the breast, I was like, thank you, God, I can actually like
How long did you breastfeed?
I breastfed for like the longevity where it was like, oh, he wanted it for like 3 months. Afterwards, a little here and there to like 5-6 months. And then it got to a point where he just, you put the tea, and it was like, yes, FML. But it's really insanity because, you know, you're not sleeping. And by the time you close your eyes, you got to wake up and do it all over again. And then like the first 2 months, they shit is disrespectful, is real life. And then you don't know what you're doing. And then that's when you're like, everything has to be clean. Washing bottles, washing your hair. So I ended up getting eczema because I washed my hands and it stayed. Because I washed my hands too much. Because they tell you got to wash your hands after everything, right?
Before the bottle.
After the bottle, before you change the diaper, after you change the diaper. And it's really insanity. And for some strange reason, they sleep during the day, and in the nighttime, that's when them hours
get active.
say
No,
the
mine
demons
is the complete
roaring.
opposite. She sleeps through the night. She's up all day.
Praise God.
But I'm up all day, and her father has the night shift. So I tell him, like, you got it so easy. When you come home from work, she already be drifting off of her craziness. She done showed out all
My
day.
cousins, they're married as well, and they were like, oh yeah, day and night shift. And I was like, must be nice.
How do you
No,
feel
it-
about letting
it
babies
is.
cry? Because
I don't. To
I don't
this
like
day-
I be wanting to say
He
that.
don't cry.
That's
Don't
the
look at
advice I
me.
want to give to my
He
friends
don't
that got
cry
babies. I be
now.
like, just let his
Dead
ass cry.
ass.
He
Let her
don't cry
girl.
now.
But that's another thing. Like, me and my daughter's father have different ideals with parenting. And he's a let her cry. I be, oh my, I lose it. I'm like, why is she crying? Get her right now, pick her up. I be losing it because I don't believe in that.
3-year-old with a binky, he got a binky on because if we
I
take
don't
it out, he
believe in
gonna
that.
cry. He got the iPad because if we take it, I don't let him cry now.
Yeah, I don't.
He's 3.
I feel uncomfortable.
Ah,
I ain't a mom, but
Unless it's like he wants to eat
I thought that because everyone says that. Like, let them cry, let them cry.
I didn't say it will work.
The
Like I
cry
said,
it
if I
out
could
thing,
compare it to-
I don't
because
think
you
so.
have to understand that babies
Cry for a reason.
cry for a reason.
To
one,
communicate.
and to communicate,
Right.
and they need love. It's not like you could rationalize. You can't rationalize with a fucking 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, but you can say your piece and they understand it. A baby can't. They want love. Now, do what I say. Don't do what I did, where to this day he sleeps with me and I held him all the time. So even now he wants to be held
damn, girl.
all the
Sleep
time.
with you
That's why I
still?
said don't sleep with me still.
How long you think you gonna let that rock out for?
He
I was
never
sleeping
slept
with
in
my
the
mom till I was
crib.
like
The
12.
first night we got home, I put him in the crib. Y'all remember the Rugrats episode when they put Dill in the crib and Dill was like, ooh. That's how I felt. He looked like what are these bars? Cage bars. So he ain't sleeping. I used to sleep with him on my chest, and I would sleep sitting up. And then he started sliding down, so I would sleep. Because then they tell you about SIDS. So it's like, I got to make sure I hear you breathing. So if I don't think you breathing, I'm looking at your chest to make sure that it rises. It's just a whole...
That's my current paranoia.
It's insanity.
paranoia.
The first couple of months is really, you're an insane person.
You know what? Like I said, if the only thing I could compare it to is if that's what having a dog is
No,
like,
I
that shit
think
is too
comparing
much
it to a
sometimes.
dog is more so, I would say, is more responsibility. Like, sometimes I
Yeah.
think about having, again, a dog, and then I think to myself, those nights when I'm out and I want to wake up at fucking 10 a.m. I can't do that. That little nigga got to go use the bathroom at 7. Like,
Yeah,
you know
I
what I'm
gotta
saying?
go,
Like, things
like-
like that. I got to make sure that I don't stay home. I don't stay out too long after work or go get
Right.
drinks too crazy. Or should I go walk him before I go get the drinks first? Or like whatever. Like, I could
But they
say
fucking cry too. They fucking
responsibility
cry.
wise, maybe. It's not the same.
This is totally
not the
off
same.
topic. You took the piercing out?
Yeah, girl.
You know that's how I met her? I was like, is that a arm? You
Forgot
took an
about
arm?
that.
Yeah, girl. So it got 2 bullet holes that never let me forget that I did some wild shit like that or whatever.
That's how I met
I had a
you.
piercing in my arm.
Yeah. You know, I have a
And then I remember you because you
they
have
used to
the
say
Jin
that.
man.
Yeah,
Like, yo, that girl
yeah.
with the piercing in her arm. Who, me?
Yeah, that was definitely you.
Koozi, can I just tell a random story about you?
Go ahead. Which one? Was I fighting? No, right? Okay.
But you was, I don't remember who said something about you on Twitter. Yo, when I tell you this
which one
bitch was terrified.
Was it the girl that took a picture of my lower back?
Why she did that?
I have eyes on my lower back, right?
The picture was in the canteen?
Yes.
Okay, I remember that Twitter moment.
She didn't know who I was. Unfortunately for her, nobody warned her
No, because when
at all.
What's crazy is when I seen that,
I said, ooh, she was fucked.
So she took the picture, and now I was heavy. My name was chill_Kooz_gone.
I said, oh, she fucked with
And
Koozi. Oh, she's fucking
So
done.
everybody retweeting. So I was on the hunt. I feel like somebody mediated
Did you press
it.
her in the canteen or some shit like?
She said sorry, so I let it go. I don't like. She was small, and it went.
I said, yo, I can't remember who it was, but yo, that shit was so funny because we sat there and we said, oh my God, she's gonna get fucked.
And nobody, and it was like an hour and a half after the fact that people tweeted it.
and you know, people are
tagged me.
instigators because they knew that the girl was going to get beat up.
Everybody knew. I was like, yo,
She said sorry. When I looked at her, I was like, oh, I should have played with her, but no, she said sorry. I was like,
Yo,
girl, I
imagine.
She was on the fucking hunt. Like,
I was on the hunt. You hear me? Because she don't play with me. Don't play with me.
She ain't know you.
I
like
don't
that.
bother nobody unless you
Look,
want
I
to
do
bother
want
me.
to ask you this. How do you feel like, because I know you do poetry.
Yeah.
You do it very well.
Thank
I
you,
might-
thank
I
you,
might
thank you,
add.
thank
Sometimes
you.
I'd be like reading it, like snapping through the phone,
Thank
girl.
you.
I like just snap through the phone.
Thank you.
How do you feel like that brought you through your pregnancy? Did that help?
Oh, I wrote a book. I haven't published it. Confessions of a Sinful Mother Gracefully Broken.
Ooh, I like that name.
It helped me a lot because a lot of the times I don't realize how I feel until I read that. Like I was reading my 2014 heartbreak poems. I was like, damn, that nigga really hurt me. But I
shit,
don't.
can you send me some?
I will. I don't realize how I really feel until after the fact or whatever. Like I don't like reading my poetry unless I want to be like, oh, let me see how I felt. But yeah, it did help me because it helped me explain to myself that first off, I have to go to like, not only am I dealing with my son's father at that time, like being pregnant, I'm dealing with my church.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dealing with my parents. My parents are traditional Ghanaian, West African parents. Involved heavily in the church.
Are they together?
Yeah, they've been together since 1983. And
wow.
involved in the church, lost their virginities to each other.
Wow, that deep.
So how was
They
their
ain't been through
reaction?
shit. I
to-
always feel like people who've been together.
My
that
mom
long
didn't get over it until like the day I gave birth. My father got over it. You know, he's a man of the cloth because he read T.D. Jakes' book. And Sarah Jakes had a baby at 13.
I be listening to his
So
podcast.
my dad called me downstairs and he was like, if this man of God can forgive his daughter, although it's like, why do you need to forgive me? But I ain't say it at that time. It's like, I thought it like, you're not Jesus. But yeah, it did help though. It did help. It helped me get my feelings. Like some of the poem, like I'm cursing his dad out. Cursing him out. Rhyming though, but because it's like, it's things that I wanted to say that I didn't get to say. And that's
Closure is really about you.
Right, it's really about you and what you allow to happen to you and what you continue to allow to happen to you. That's why when after a while and I realized it's more chaotic to try to press for him to be involved than it is just to, when you come, we're here. If you don't, we're better. But it's up to you. Then that's when it's like I said, a lot of things, like somebody could come in here and throw water in my face and I promise you I'll sit here and be like, you're lucky. 3 years ago, it'll be like, I'm going to jail. This is my account number. So it's a lot of things that I grew spiritually. I'm more understanding. I've never had patience at all. My son acts just like me.
I'm glad you kind of identify that. A lot of
You know,
people
that's
who don't
really
have
good,
patience
like,
can't
yeah.
It's
identify
really
that
a
with that stuff.
self-reflection. And when you go through I call my pregnancy was fucking traumatic.
Mine too.
It's traumatic because one, I had 3 threatened miscarriages. I sent that nigga a picture of the first sonogram. He sent me a thumbs up emoji. Can you imagine?
Wow, yeah.
While I'm in the emergency room because I'm bleeding and I'm having a threatened miscarriage. So it was very traumatic. Then nobody from my house came with me to the hospital. I drove myself.
Oh, because
Everyone was mad.
Or
Yeah,
because
they weren't
They were
okay.
mad. My mom said, let God's will be done. Do you know what that means? If you lose him, that was God's will. That's what it meant.
Wow.
Right. Traumatic. So you have to deal with what you're going through. Try to understand what they're going through. Although it's like, I totally will never understand. To this day, I won't understand it. I've forgiven it because, you know, I have to. But
But you don't understand.
living in your house, I gotta forgive you feed my child. So I gotta, but you're going through your own thing. Like, yo, I'm about to bring a life into the world. At that time, my spending habits was way worse than my saving habits. So like I said, it helps you, you know, like I feel like I had a couple of $100 in the bank. You couldn't tell. Now I could put a down payment in a house.
That's dope.
So it helps you to grow.
Priorities
Right. Because I was going to Baltimore, traveling here, traveling there, all the kinds of bags and all kinds of stuff. But you would know I was broke. Now it's like, damn, do I really want that? Oh, they take Afterpay.
What's insane, my experience financially was completely different. Like, I was saving for a house. So I had a traumatic pregnancy as well, hospital all the time, and then I got put on bed rest. So I was applied for short-term disability. I got denied.
Why?
I have no idea.
Through your job or just through the
Through my job's insurance. Yeah, I got denied. But I was saving for a house.
They said that pregnancy is not a disability.
Yeah.
That shit is crazy.
I got back pay. My doctor, he worked it out. I got back pay. But I got back pay like after she got here. But I got put on bed rest in February, and I was already saving up for a house. So it was like, you know what, I could just, you know, tap my money, and then her father's there. So, you know, I'm going to fall back on a couple of bills. And saving for a house prior to ever getting pregnant or finding out was like the greatest thing ever. I mean, I don't got my house money right now because it still don't work. But it saved me. Like, even now, like, I just extended my leave 6 months because I'm trying to stay out for a year. And I'm aware that when I go back to work, I don't got my deposit money for a house, and that it's going to put me back a year or two. And I think that was the tough decisions when I found out I was pregnant. Like, I'm trying to go back to school. I'm trying to buy a house. And it's like, now, I have this surprise. And what am I going to do? Then it's like, we're not married. He's saying these things. Is this really how it's going to be? Because again, together or not, anybody could get left to be a single parent. So it was just all of these thoughts. And then it's just like, is he ready for this? Am I ready for this? Because I felt like, when I
having to get ready at that.
Yeah, I still had options. I'm pro-choice as well. I had options. Okay. But I think when I like thought like deep down to it, and I think it was just like a conversation with my mom. My mom was kind of pretty much like, you have so much to offer. And I think that's what it was, because I felt like regardless of what would happen in my situation, whether it was financially, me and her dad, I feel like I have so much to pour into a little human being. And that was like my ultimate decision. Like, I could do this. It's fucking hard now.
Right.
We gotta close out soon, but I want. Do you guys feel like you could give advice to somebody who could be in a situation similar to yours? Like, what would you do?
Breathe. I worried so much that it brought me into like a sad place that when I think back to it, what the fuck? I'm 5 months. Why am I crying at the fact that he's 5 years old going to ask me where his daddy at? Relax and watch Just Judy. Yeah, take it one day at a time, because you really don't. At that time, I couldn't foresee now. Like, I couldn't foresee it at all. You can't foresee the future because it's God or whatever power. I believe in God, so I'm going to say God. He's the one, in the Bible it says that he knew us when we were in our mother's womb. Like, he knew the plans for us. He knew our future. So it's like, relax. Relax, plan, and take it one day at a time. And to understand that no matter how a kid came here, is a kid that was chosen for you, and it's a blessing, regardless. I'm pro-choice as well. My choice was to have my child. If your choice is, I would never tell anybody not to do, you know what I'm saying? But that was my choice, was to keep him and just relax. Literally breathe and take it day by day and relax, and don't allow his father, whoever is stressing you out, X them out. And when they want to, I don't believe in, if he comes back, then nah, fuck him and this, that, and other. There is going to be restrictions, and there is going to be things that you have to work towards, but let the door be open, because sometimes they're just going to stand outside and not even open it for themselves.
They might even walk in.
Right. Just relax. My situation, being a single mom, knowing that a nigga didn't want to have a kid while you were pregnant, even before, relax. That's what I can release. Just relax.
Savannah?
I think my advice would be the minute that you figure out that you're pregnant and you really, don't know which way you're going to go, I think is just to really focus on like what you can give your kid, like what type of life, regardless of where you are, because people raise their kids on, public assistance or whatever the case may be. It's just about like what you can really. Yeah, what you could really give your kid, because that was my ultimate choice. Like, what is it that I can do? Because again, you can't be responsible for anybody else but you. So it was really like, what can I give this person?
Okay, look, one more final question. Is it disrespectful to ask somebody when they pregnant what you about to do?
Because
I feel like some people feel like it's an insinuation or like, girl,
it depends
It would be automatic for me.
Yeah,
so
it
I just want to
depends
know
who it comes from. Like,
Okay.
I have a best friend core group. It's Connie, Enough Fun, Blessing. At that time, it was Tiffany, and then it was Alicia from my homegirl from high school or whatever. So they were the first 5 that found out I was pregnant. We were on literally through 7-way or whatever, including myself. And 2 people were like, the fuck well, you can't have no kid. Alicia was like, Michelle, you're not having no abortion. And the other 2 was just stunned. So it depends. Now, if it was somebody outside that clique that's like, what you about to do? Well, what you about to do? What you
the
saying?
fuck? Mind your business.
Right, mind your
Yeah,
business.
okay,
But
that
if
makes
it's
sense.
your core group, because they knew me and everybody knew like,
Yeah,
what
of
I'm
course you know who to
capable.
take
At
it
that
from.
time, I didn't
like,
know what was gonna go. I was like, my father about to kick me out.
yeah.
I'm about to.
This was before we wrap up. One question. Akila had asked you a question about like your parents. Like, did all those years, like they never like had no problems?
What do you mean? No.
Because I always feel like, I'm not going to hold you, I feel like people who've been together in high school, people who've been together for like young years of their lives, and I'm one of them, I feel like you always got issues. This is some problems
my parents,
arise.
and this is what they say. That's why
You gotta
now
grow.
I'm like, I'm not Miss Holy, but now I will quote, they made God their foundation. And that's their belief. And if you stick to whatever your foundation is, if you stick to your foundation and it's a solid rock, can't nothing sink below. But if it's mud, you always gonna fall through.
Yeah.
So that's why they were able to. They knew what they want. We came from Ghana when they were first, because they did the traditional marriage in '83.
So
my mom was in London. My dad was in America. And
So they basically were aligned in their values.
in their values
Okay.
and their beliefs and their cultural systems, where the man is the provider and the woman is that ain't my style of thinking. I'm gonna get this money.
Yeah.
But I also think that when you and whoever you parenting with are on the same page, you can shield your kids from stuff. Because my parents co-parented, and they had such a toxic co-parent situation, but we didn't know. When as we're older, we laugh about it. My mother's like, "Yeah, I sent y'all over with no clothes so he could buy the clothes." I was like, "What?" I just thought we was going on shopping trips every time we went over there.
I really don't mean to cut y'all off, but he gonna cut us off. The episode gonna end real fucking weird. So Kim, real quick, I know you have a showcase on the 22nd.
August 21st.
Okay.
Yes. Creative Chaos is an artistic festival. It's in Prospect Park, the Parkside and Ocean.
Entrance?
Park View and Ocean.
It's Parkview. I think.
Park View and
Yeah, I feel
Ocean.
like I
I'm
read
from the
that
Bronx.
in
I don't know Brooklyn. Yes. It's live painting, poetry, body painting, hip hop. We're gonna have so many vendors, so many dope things. It's a free event. Just come out and vibe out and rock out.
You want to plug your
My Instagram is Tribe Called Kush, not a Tribe Called Kush. Tribe Called Kush, and you'll see. Like,
we'll
my
plug it in
poetry.
the description.
You coming? Y'all coming?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Yeah, the
I live
21st.
right
Oh yeah, I'll be
You
here.
do?
If I can
Well, I would need
bring
to
my
dress that
baby,
your-
I will be there. If children can be there, then
Yeah, girl. Look at her trying to bring the
Okay,
kid.
okay.
Say that she be
I
bringing
love
the
my
kids.
Missy
Kid
Pooh.
friendly. It's
Yeah, I
kid
mean-
friendly. No, come. It's
Okay.
kid friendly.
All right.
Come. I'm thinking about performing. It ain't about
Nah,
me. It's
do it.
about
Do
it,
everybody
do it.
else.
We'll
But
be
I
there.
might do one piece.
It's gonna appeal to a different crowd.
Thank you guys for coming. We
Thank you
really
for having us
appreciate
and thinking about me.
Yeah, it's
Think about
amazing.
us. And my son was quiet this whole time. This is amazing. Won't God do it?
Yes, he will.
Good job, Elijah.
Hey, like I did that.
I did that.
Good job.
All right, y'all, we out.